Get it started. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Sri Shailabhijanamburashinam Sri Krishna Tatatmajam Sri Shailanve Devanath Sudya Praptagaman Tadvayam Padabje Narsimha Tate Guru Nyastatma Raksha Bharam Vidvat Brinda Chakora Chandiramaham Ramanujaryam Shri Sriranga Sudha Madhusamaaswadayantam Sriranga Mahishi Pada Pankajatmajam Sulabhashrayam Sada Moda Siddhamadbhutam Bhajeham Guruntam Ranganatha Priyam Sukhasanastham Hridayabjapithe Chinmudraya Lankata Pani Padmam Shubhopavitam Vimalodhapundram Namami Rangam Gurum Antarenge Namami Yoga Samrajñim Vijayam Vijayapradam Srirangardhasanasīnām Karunāmamamātaram Guru Rupa Paranjyoti Jyoti Rupa Guru Paraha Ajnana Mandiram Hyetate Guru Vijnana Mandiram Mukhaṁ Karoti Vācālam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yontah Pravishya Mama Vācamimāṁ Prasuptam सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः सकृदेव प्रपन्नाय तवास्मीति च याचते अभयं सर्वभूतेभ्यः ददाम्येतद्व्रतं मम मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेतसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. With salutations to our Guru and the Guru of all Gurus, will commence our session today. There may be people who have joined recently. My request, as always, is to switch on your videos as far as possible so that it will make the class a little more lively. Those who are unable to do it, this is for those who have been attending also. If it is not possible due to any other reason, you may be on the video off mode, but as far as possible, please try to switch on your video. And the other thing is that as far as possible, we attend these sessions regularly as the Shastras say, especially with respect to Sundara Kandam, for the benefit to be fully realized for those who are listening as well as those who are doing the Upanyasam. It is important to have that continuity as far as possible. There may be reasons, of course, for ladies also. There may be reasons why you will not be able to attend on some days. That is perfectly fine. But otherwise, or due to health reasons, you may not be able to attend, or due to emergencies, please try to make it as regular as possible. And of course, as far as possible, again, if you could attend this after doing a snanam, that will be ideal. It is difficult to ask you of this, especially on a Sunday morning if in countries like UK. But it is preferable because there are doshas that accumulate in our body every second. And snanam is suggested as one of the easiest ways of getting rid of these doshas. In the olden days, they used to take snanam both in the morning as well as in the evening. But, these days, taking it once a week also probably is a great thing. As it is Sundarakandam session, this is advisable. This is what we would like to request. This just to remind those who have been attending regularly, as well as a matter of introduction to some of you who may have joined from today. And those who have joined recently, request is that please go through all the previous sessions, okay, over a period of time, again for the sake of continuity. These have all been uploaded on YouTube as and when time permits, or as a corollary, as and when you are able to put time into it. Please go through these YouTube videos so that you will get a flavor for this whole rasayanam. It is like a panchabhaksham, right? Bhakshyam, bhojyam, choshyam, lehyam, and paniyam are panchabhaksham. All types of food are available in Sundara Kandam. So we don't want you to miss any of these. Okay. So with that forward, we'll continue our discussion from the previous session, which is Panchatrimsha Sargaha, which is called as Vishwasa Utpadana Sargaha, where we see that the dialogue continues now in a more rigorous and serious manner between Lord Hanuman and Devi Sita Mata. And she specifically requests, Sita Mata requests Hanuman to talk about his identities, isn't it? Yani Ramasya Lingani, Lakshmanasya Chavanara, Tani Bhuya Samachakshva, Namam Shoka Samavishete. So this is his 35th Sargam. Shloka number 3 says that Sita Mata wants to hear directly from Hanuman as to what is it that you have seen in him physically. And Hanuman starts to talk about various lakshanas. Yani Ramasya Chinnhani, Lakshmanasya Chayani Vai, Lakshitani Vishalakshi, Vadada Shrunutani Me. I'm going to tell. The very first thing he says, Rama Kamala Patrakshaha, Sarvasattva Manoharaha, Rupa Dakshinya Sampannaha, Prasuto Janakatmaje. Tejasa. Did we stop in shloka number 8 in the last class? Or 9? So it is this particular shloka is about Kamala Patrakshaha. Rama is somebody who has lotus eyes. Here patra could mean either petal or leaf of lotus. Both are possible. Okay. A lotus is a beautiful plant to look at. It has, I don't know how many of you have seen. It is so kind that it grows in water also, or in slushy lands. Kamalaha, it's called Ka-malaha. Mala is clay, and it emerges out of that clay. So it's called Kamalam. But it's such a beautiful flower, isn't it? So the Lord also resides in us. We may have all kinds of doshas, yet he resides in us. So he himself is Kamala in some sense. Kamala Patrakshaha, his eyes are indeed beautiful. Lotus has great significance in our sadhana margam, isn't it? We have all the Nava chakras in the body, and each chakra resembles a lotus. There are varnas for each chakra, letters in Sanskrit, which are allocated for each petal in the Kamalam. Sarvasattva Manohara is somebody who is endowed in abundance, Rupa Dakshinya Sampannaha. And just to look at him would be very pleasing. And Prasutaha, O Janakatmaje, O Sita Mata, Lord Rama has all these great physical features endowed with him right from the time of birth. In other words, he did not consult any plastic surgeon to modify his body, to remove fat, add fat, etc. All of that he has avoided as far as possible, right? So these are all qualities which are endowed with him at the time of birth. Tejasa Aditya Sankashaha Kshamaya Prithvi Samaha Brahaspati Samo Buddhya Yashasa Vasavopamaha is Rakshita Jivalokasya Sojanasya cha Rakshita Swasya Vrittasya Dharmasya cha Parantapaha. He is somebody who is full of effulgence. Tejasa Aditya Sanka is just like Aditya or Surya Bhagavan. His tejas is unlimited and in abundance. Kshamaya Prithvi Samaha. At the same time, he is so easy to approach because he has that kind of infinite forbearance or kshama, and no better person to actually personify kshama than Prithvi Mata. Kshamaya Prithvi Samaha, because we do know that we are polluting Mother Earth day in and day out. She kind of tolerates it to a great extent. Okay, only when it breaches some limits, she comes out like the volcano in Iceland, which we are seeing today. She has her own corrective mechanisms. We may say that she has infinite compassion, infinite perseverance. It also has a limit. So she kind of refreshes herself once in a while. That once is quite a long breath of Lord Brahma, as we know, isn't it? Pralayam is something that happens in quite long periods of time. But until then, she kind of forbears with all the things that happen on her. Kshamaya, Prithvi Samaha. It's interesting to note these two qualities. Tejasa, Aditya Sankashaha, Kshamaya, Prithvi Samaha are illustrated in one line. What we feel when I think of my Guru is that there's a connection between heaven and earth. Sun is seen in the heaven and Bhumata is earth. So we are all here and he is there, right? So the moment you look up to somebody who is like your idol, we will all think, he's so far away. How do I reach him? No, don't worry. He is there for you. He will come down because of his perseverance. He is ever uh, near you. You don't have to worry that he is too far away. So I believe that's the reason why Valmiki has interwoven these two, and Hanuman has also experienced it and speaking from his words. Okay. Hanuman has seen Lord Rama in close quarters, isn't it? And it's not just Valmiki mentioning these things, but somebody to, in software we say, the moment we do development, somebody has to do testing. So the code is developed by Valmiki, tested by Hanuman. He knows that this is indeed the great quality of Lord Ramachandra. And, it is there for everybody who is interested in Rama to enjoy. It is there for us even in Kali Yuga. Kshamaya, Prithvi Samaha, Brihaspati Samo Buddhya, Yashasa Vasavopma is so famous, just like Indra, and his Buddhi is as good as Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the overlord of all the Devatas. Today we use that term for Brihaspati Sambhavana. Who is Brihaspati? The person who comes and officiates any yagam at our home. These days is called Brihaspati, isn't it? An acharya who comes down as a purohita and then blesses us is called Brihaspati. But the real Brihaspati is the guru of all the devas. It is easy to become a guru of those who don't know anything. It is very difficult to be a guru of those who are learned and those who have extraordinary powers like the devas. Okay. And he has to have such an extreme kind of buddhi that not only pervades that lokam, but also goes beyond that. That is the nature of the buddhi of Lord Brihaspati. Okay, that's why even in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, Sayeka Indrasya Om Sayeka Indrasya Nandaha Te Shatamindrasya Nandaha Sayeko Brihaspate 100 times the Ananda or bliss of Indra is what is the Ananda of one Brihaspati. So that shows the level of attainment in sadhana or siddhi of Brihaspati. And that is the kind of buddhi that Lord Ramachandra also has. However, Brihaspati's own disciple, pet disciple is Vasava or Indra. So both are apparently brought together in this padam of the slokam. Rakshita Jivalokasya Swajanasya cha rakshita. He is not only the protector of his own janam, isn't it? So many times we try to protect ourselves and our near and dear. Okay, our sphere of influence is hardly going beyond 8 meters or 10 meters, isn't it? We don't worry about what happens. Many times they say in the US, not many people are actually aware of the geography or politics that happens beyond their own town or city. They may not even know counties within their own country, forget about other countries. It applies to all the regions of the world. But here, he goes beyond that. Rakshita Jivalokasya. He's not only protector of his own clan, but the entire Jivalokam. This is again reinforcing the fact that Lord Ramachandra is Mahavishnu himself, who can protect all the jivas in this lokam, isn't it? It's not easy for ordinary mortals to do. And then Rakshita Swasya Vrittasya Dharmasya cha Parantapaha. He's somebody who protects his own vritti. Vritti Vartana Jivane. Vritti is what is his job, what is his avocation, what is his job description. That is something he knows very well and he executes it. Rakshita Swasya Vrittasya. He doesn't need anyone else to remind him as to what he should be doing. Okay. He knows what to do. That is Rakshita Swasya Vrittasya. Dharmasya cha Parantapaha. He is not only the protector of his own vritti, but also the dharma itself. We all say, Ramo, complete the sentence. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha. He is dharma personified. And he is a protector of dharma itself, meaning the duties and responsibilities of everybody else in his kingdom. And that does not exist alone in a book. But, there are many things that are unsaid in our smritis. Okay, so they say do Sandhya Vandanam in the morning. There will be a proper standard operating procedure to do that. But within that, minor nuances will often not be spelt out because that is between the Guru and Sishya. So it continues in the form of culture, as they say. Okay, and that not everything is said in the books. So whatever is said and whatever is unsaid is part of dharmam. And that dharma is what Lord Ramachandra protects because he is a parantapaha. Right? So we all get eager and say we should all protect Hindu dharma. So how do we protect it? Go out and speak in various forums, take the mic in your hand and download or upload words into the heads of others. That is also required. But truly speaking, what is also required is understanding the nuances of what is dharma, trying to get closer to that thing, try to adopt it in our daily lives. That itself will be an excellent way of broadcasting dharma, dharma sacha. And that cannot happen if you are not a parantapa. That is a connection between dharma and tapas. Without tapas or sadhana, right? Tapas means you are burning the various tissues, burning the tapam, all the things that have accumulated in us over several janmas, that has to be burnt away. Not physically, but metaphorically and spiritually. And that happens through sadhana. Once you do that, tapas, then you get the ability to follow dharma. And with even more rigorous tapas, that is parantapaha. Okay, there's a reason why every word is used. Then you can protect dharma itself. That's not normally the duty of the ordinary, but that of extraordinary people who are called as avatara purushas, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanit bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Only such people can actually take care of dharma. Ramo bhamini lokesmin chaturvarnyasya rakshita maryadanaancha lokasya karta karayita cha saha achishmanachito nityam brahmacharya vrate sthitah sadhunam upakarajnah pracharajnascha karmanam. So there, how beautifully connection between dharma and chaturvanya, right? They are coming hand in glove there. Ramo bhamini lokesmin. O Sita Mata, you are a Bhamini. Asmin loke chaturvarnyasya rakshita. He also protects the order of chaturvanya, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. This is a very big topic of discussion. We have done this previously in great detail when we did the Bhagavad Gita, Parayanam, Bhagavad Gita, Kalakshepam. Very succinctly put, there is an order in the way Lord Brahma created this entire creation. Okay. We all know that there must be some goal for any creator, isn't it? When you create something, you have something in your mind, and that is what translates into creation. And what is the key goal that Brahma embedded in his creation? Right? Each aspect of the creation has what is known as the jivam, the so-called life, or the jiva tattvam. And he wanted all the jivas to actually experience ananda or bliss. That is when the ananda itself multiplies. And associated with the jiva comes the shariram. There needs to be a way. So when the Lord first created, Lord Brahma got into the act of creation, when Mahavishnu ordered him, okay, start the creation. He first created such people who are not worthy of propagating the creation. Those are great people known as Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat, Sujata, etc. Right? They were completely immersed in the Lord, that they went into a complete state of meditation and samadhi. They did not want to procreate themselves. So that's not the goal of creation. Goal of creation is to enjoy the happiness, let it multiply for now and for the hereafter. So for that to happen, there should be a bonding with Prakriti. And for this continuity to happen, what will happen is the jivas get into a state of doing good and doing bad. So you will have the dualities coming in there. And these dualities cause variations in our body through the three doshas, that is Vata, Pitta, and Sleshma. And that's what creates the so-called periodic table. So there is iron, there is gold, there is titanium, right? There is chlorine, there is neon. Each of these have different characteristics, physical characteristics, chemical characteristics, etc. And if you ask, okay, why is iron like that? Why cannot iron be an inert gas? If somebody asks that question, what will you say? Well, that's what is nature. That is periodic table, isn't it? If I want to convert iron into neon, it's possible through not chemical reactions, through nuclear reactions. So you have to go at the level of the nucleus and remove protons and neutrons so that it becomes an inert gas. It's not an easy process. So it calls for a huge application of energy. It is possible. It's not that it is impossible, but there is a natural way of doing it. There is so-called half-life, and the elements decay over a period of time. So why am I saying all this, getting into chemistry here? Long and short is that the nature of our jiva is the same. That is jnana, ananda, right? And satyam. That is true of all jivas. But when it comes down to the level of prakriti, there will be differentiation. And this differentiation is not imposed by anybody from outside. It is inborn, it is natural. And there is a way of evolution, right? And that evolution is a natural process. That is what dictates what one should be doing when we get into this body. And what is easy for you to do. The Lord has created this body in such a way that you don't have to stress too much in order to get into the path of bliss. Right? It's just a matter of adopting a certain set of procedures. And that got encoded into the Chaturvarnya. Okay, it is not that one person is higher or one person is lower. If you look at Purusha Suktam, it clearly says, isn't it? Om Brahmano Asya Mukhamasit Bahurajanya Kritaha Uru Tadasya Yadvaishya Padbhyagam Shudro Ajayata. Now, will you say that the Lord's feet is different from his face? He is Ananda Swarupa. And from his own divine body is what all these four people have come, four different varnas have emanated. Each varna is actually divine in origin. There is a purpose, right? Without the feet getting in, you cannot walk. There is no progress in society without the feet. Without the mind, intellect, thinking, you will end up doing chaotic things. Without your bahus, you cannot, protect whatever good has been created. So therefore, each of the varnas are actually different aspects of divinity, and they have to work together with each other, achieve not only the goals of the society but also for themselves. There is a goal which is embedded for everybody, which is Om Agnimichadhvam Bharata. Everybody needs to have this particular feeling of getting closer to Agni or the Lord. Everybody has an equal right to that Agni. There is a way to attain him. And we are all positioned in different stations. We need to know where we are. And with the Guru's help, we can all ascend to that Agni. And that is the thing that Lord Ramachandra protects. It is something which he created, isn't it? Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam is what Lord Krishna says in the Gita. And that is Maya means him as the Paramatman through Lord Brahma. And that is what Lord Ramachandra also protects. Maryadana Chalokasya Karta Karaita Saha. So he created this so-called மரியாதை என்ன என்கிட்ட மரியாதை வச்சுக்கோ அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா மரியாதையா நடந்துக்கோ right it is often used in connotation like be careful. Maryada basically means limits. The Lord has set limits to everything, right? When we are hungry we start eating, but when your stomach is full, can you eat any further? Right, it's very difficult unless you drain yourself away and then the stomach is again empty. There is a limit to everything. And the limit is actually set by the Lord himself. Karta karayita saha. See, that's a beautiful thing here. Hanuman or Valmiki would have just left with the word karta. But they use the word karayita, meaning he does not himself follow the limits, makes others to also follow. And that's where the overlordship or the Ishwaratvam is also clearly implicated here. Achishman Achito Nityam. Achishman Achito Nityam Brahmacharya Vrate Sthitaha Sadhuna Upakarajnaha Pracharaknyascha Karmanam. He is Achishman. He is somebody who is very effulgent and he is also worshipped. Right? Achitaha. Achishma. We get these two words in the Vishnu Sahasranamam, right? Bhishma Pitamaha, he apparently by-hearted Valmiki Ramayanam. Achishman, isn't it? So these two words come together. He is very luminous, that is Achishman, and is worshipped by others. Nityam Brahmacharya Vrate Sthitaha. Just like the four varnas, there are four different stations in life, which is Brahmacharyam, Grihastham, Vanaprastham, and Sannyasam, right? And this is something which all the four varnas have to adopt. It is not just meant for one varna. All varnas have to adopt this, right? As is typical, brahmacharyam is when you are young, isn't it? Until you get into a state of dvijatvam, you perform upanayinam, you approach a guru and know what are the skills of your particular trade. Okay. At the same time, you will understand all the 64 different kalas. You will know what the vidyas are, etc. That is the core goal of brahmacharya. Then comes grihastha, then vanaprastham and sannyasam. But here, interestingly, Hanuman says, Nityam brahmacharya vrate sthitaha. Right? How can you say this to Rama? Perhaps he's not with Sita Mata. So, right, he's probably adopting brahmacharya, right? It's quite natural. Your wife is not around you. Of course, we are not talking of other ways of enjoyment like Tangamani, isn't it? So here, he is somebody who gets into a state of brahmacharyatvam probably when his wife is not around. He gets into a natural inward looking focus and he gets into that state. No, this says nityam. And that word nityam basically means that brahmacharyatvam is there as his inherent quality all through his life, right? That is the beauty of this word nityam. And brahmacharya vartes, how is it possible, isn't it? To practice brahmacharyatvam, meaning incontinence, is that the right word? I don't know. So you stay away from indriyarthas, indriyas and indriyarthas. Your sense organs are attracted towards different objects. So you try to stay away from them is normally called as brahmacharyatvam. But the real meaning of brahmacharyatvam is brahme charati iti brahmachara. One who is ever in the state of the supreme consciousness, that person alone can be called as a brahmachari. Not everybody. Okay. So we very freely use this word. என்ன அந்த பிரம்மச்சாரி கூட்டு சாப்பாடு போடுங்க அப்படின்னும் அவரை வந்து சாப்பிட்டு நன்னா சாப்பிட்டு போயிடுவார் அவர். Okay, we invite so-called bachelor boys. We equate bachelors to brahmachari, right? We wish that they really become brahmachari by doing Veda Adhyanam, understanding the true meaning of Veda with the grace of the Guru, and through sadhana, through tapas, they become a real brahmachari. And Lord Rama doesn't have to go through all this route. He is himself of that nature, isn't it? And when he descends to this earth as an Avatara Purusha, he is born as a brahmachari. That's the difference between, let's not confuse that he is equal to ordinary jivas. But he becomes an ideal person, okay, to reflect on this brahmacharya principle in spite of following dharma, doing his duties, etc. As the latter part of this slokam says, sadhunam upakarajnaha is somebody who does lot of upakaram for sadhus, right? Upakaram means that which makes them happy. So those who are sadhu, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam. So he tries to protect the sadhus, and that is the greatest upakaram that he can do. Okay. Sadhunam upakarajnaha pracharajnascha karmanam. He also broadcasts to everybody. Pracharam panna right? So you start a political party and broadcast what karmanam, all kinds of duties that one has to do. He broadcasts it very, very properly and correctly. But the real meaning of this pracharajnam, right? We always have two meanings. One which is apparent, one which is not so apparent. Pracharajnaha cha karmanam. Charam means charanam, meaning how to do. So he is somebody, he not only broadcasts, but he knows exactly how to do various duties. Pracharajna prakrishtena charati. He adopts those paths of doing various karmas. He has a great attention for details. He has great abilities to do those karmas. And that is how he becomes a pracharajna. And this seemingly contradicts Nitya Brahmacharitvam. So one who is a Nitya Brahmachari, you expect him to see in a state of meditation, unmoved, isn't it? Apuryamanam achalam pratishtham samudramapa pravishanti yadvate tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakamakami. One who sits in stillness like the ocean, unmindful of the various streams of rivers that flow into it, such a person alone attains Shanti. But what is it we are talking here? Somebody who is in the middle of action, yet being a Nitya Brahmachari. These are all great ideals, but we should learn to understand this so that we'll know when we see the drama, we get all this. Rajavidya Vinitascha Brahmana Upasita Sutavan Shila Sampanna Vinitascha Parantapaha Yajurveda Vinitascha Veda Vidbhisu Pujitaha Dhanurvede cha Vedeshu Vedangeshu cha Nishtitaha. Is somebody who knows Raja Vidya. That is the Vidya that needs to be adopted by kings. Okay. And he is humble because of that Raja Vidya Vinitascha. Again, Raja Vidya is something which has a deeper meaning. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yogam is one of the chapters in Bhagavad Gita. The king among of all Vidyas is also called as Raja Vidya. It is not just the Vidya about kings, but that Vidya, which is the king of all Vidyas, is Vedanta Vidya, or the Jnanam about Brahma Tattvam. And Lord Rama is somebody who is very proficient in Raja Vidya. At the same time, he is Brahmananam Upasita. No wonder somebody who really knows the Brahma Jnanam, when he sees a true Brahmana, not one who appears to be a Brahmana, okay? Such people he will oblige, and he actually is a Upasita, right? Just like you remember what Lord Krishna did for Sudama, okay? He does Pada Puja for Sudama. Krishna is a Kshatriya, Sudama is a Brahmana. So Brahmananam Upasita. Likewise, Ramachandra also obliges sage Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, who becomes a Brahma Rishi, isn't it? Brahmananam Upasita Shrutavane Sila Sampannaha Vinitascha Parantapaha. He is somebody who is Shrutavan, means he is very well read abdin artham, meaning in those days they used to accumulate vidya not by reading, but largely by listening or hearing. That's why it's important to attend a live session. In the sense that you may read Sundara Kandam 100 times, but for the Lord to imprint that Sankham and Chakram in our minds, it calls for listening. And by God's grace, if it also has that power that goes with the Lordship, then that makes an impact on us. And Lord Ramachandra has listened to various aspects of Dharma from various rishis. Right? His Kulaguru is Vasishtha. Right? He has done a proper study of all that by just simply listening. No, our brain gets activated when we listen to something, and that gets imprinted quicker than when we read, apparently. That's why it's called a Shruti and Shrutavan. Shila Sampannaha. It's very, very easy to become arrogant the moment we accumulate a lot of vidyas. I'm sorry, I'm spending more time on these, but these Atma Gunas are what to die for in some sense. The moment we immerse ourselves like a honeybee in the pot of honey, we try to get closer to that bliss. So please pardon me if I am taking more time. But he's a Shila Sampanna. It's very easy to become arrogant when we acquire knowledge. But that's not the case here. He is a Vinita and a Shila Sampanna. The moment you see somebody who is a Sushila, isn't it? Sheelam is a quality which comes because you are a Shrutavan. That's why all these words are related. The moment you are somebody who has acquired not only knowledge, but the experience that goes with the knowledge, it starts to imprint on your body. The moment somebody gets closer to you and looks at you, you spread that coolness, you spread that inner peace to the others also. So that's the beauty of the Shilatvam. And he's a Vinitaha, meaning he's somebody who is truly humble. He doesn't boast that he knows a lot. Okay. Many times he's like a Nirai Kudam. He does not speak much, but he will speak where it is required. Vinitaha, Vinitascha Parantapaha. And he is Yajurveda Vinitascha, Vedavidbhi Supujitaha. All these are interrelated. He is a Raja Vidya, Vinitaha, he is a Brahmanana Upasita, he is a Shrutavan. And by the way, he is a master of Yajurvedas. இங்க ஏதாவது question வந்திருக்கா யாருக்காவது? We all say Veda Vyasa is the one who divided the Vedas into Rigvedam, Yajurvedam. இதெல்லாம் ஹிஸ்டாரிக்கலாக வேற மாதிரி பெண்டிகை. ராமாயண காலத்தில் வேதவியாசர் எங்கே இருந்தார் அப்படின்னு ஒரு கொஸ்டின் வரும். ரைட், வேர் இஸ் வேதவியாசா இன் த டைம் ஆஃப் திரேதா யுகம்? இல்லை, வேண்டாத டவுட் உங்கள் தள்ள போட்டேன். இப்போ இதை பற்றி அப்புறம் யோசிக்கலாம். யஜுர்வேத வினீதஸ்ச, லார்ட் ராமா இஸ் அ மாஸ்டர் ஆஃப் யஜுர்வேதா அண்ட் வேதவித்பிஹி சுபூஜிதः. He is worshipped by those who know all the Vedas. So it goes hand in hand. While he is a Brahmanana Upasita, right? Lord Rama is a Brahmanana Upasita. Those who are Brahmanas also worship him. Vedavidbhi Supujitaha. So we should not think of Lord Rama as a Kshatriya and say, I am a Brahmana, he is a Kshatriya. Why should I worship him? No. So that respect comes because he is endowed with all these divine qualities. Okay. So we all know Alvars, great Alvars are there. They are all from different castes, different varnas. Many of them are actually worshipped equivalent to the Lord, or sometimes even above the Lord himself. Okay. So that's something to note here. Why are they worshipped? The answer to that is they are all Shila Sampannaha. They are all Vinitas. They are all Shrutavans. They have all listened to that great primordial Omkara, that is ever present both externally as well as internally. We don't have to tell them what is Omkara. So such Shrutavan people, when we see them, we automatically bow down and we worship them. Right? Dhanurvedecha Vedeshu Vedangeshu cha Nishtita is somebody who knows not only the Vedas but also Vedangas, the different distributaries of the Vedas, right? Am I right? Is it distributary or tributary? I am poor in geography. Okay. So one river becomes multiple rivers, tributaries? Tributaries. Thank you. Yeah. I get an acknowledgement here. So there are different Vedangas. What are the different Vedangas? Chandaha, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, etc. So those are all the different Veda, Jyotisham, etc. are the Vedangas. So the Lord knows the Vedangas, especially he is a master of Dhanurvedam, isn't it? He is holding the bow and arrow. Nishtitaha. Vipulamso Mahabahu Kambugriva Shubhananaha Gudhajatru Sutam Raksho Ramo Devi Janeshutaha. We'll end it with this slokam. He is somebody who is a Mahabahu Kambugrivaha, right? And he is a Vipulamsaha. So Devi, he has broad shoulders. Okay, unlike many of us who have narrow shoulders, he's somebody who has a Bahubali. Yeah? He's a real Kshatriya. So he has to have that physical valor to protect his entire kingdom. So he is a Vipulamsa. Vipulamsaha, he is a Mahabahu. he is a Kambugrivaha. Apparently, his neck resembles a Shankham. Okay. It is in that form. He is a Shubhananaha. So, Kambugrivanaka, it is not that it is physically resembling the conch. But if you were to reflect on what a Shankham is, a Shankham, the Nadam coming from Shankha is Pranavanadam. And the Ghosham that comes from Pranava is Shabda Brahmam. And the Lord is overlord of both Nada Brahma and Shabda Brahma. And we all know that there are 4 states of Vak. Om Para Pashyanti Madhyama Vaikhari Rupai Namaha. Those who know Saundarya Lahari will know these 4 different namas, isn't it? So the Lord, the goddess of Vak, there are 4 different sthanas for the Vak. And when it emanates from the neck, he has such a great voice that it is full of the pranavam. Probably that's why he's called as Kambugrivaha. And he is a Gudajatruhu. Yeah, his shoulders are round. Okay. And Sutam Rakshaha. He has eyes which are coppery red in color. Okay. So I think we then have further description of the beautiful form of Lord Ramachandra. Maybe it's time to conclude this session with the shlokam, isn't it? On Ayodhyama, and then we'll conclude the session. Okay.
Abhujanta Shri Chakrakundaladharam Kutilakuntalam Shishum Mandasmitaruchikaradharaputam Purnimaikshanvitam Mukham Sharasyordvagatim Mudraya Vidishan Savyena Pranavam Dhanum Madhye SusthitamugdhashyamalamahamShri Ramam Bhaje Mohanam.
Thank you. Any, I know it's over time, just time for any one person or any one comment or thought before we conclude. So it's a very interesting sargam. Later on, we'll see the full description of the Lord's form as seen by Hanuman. Okay. Okay, we'll conclude our session here. Guru Charanam.
Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhakta Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhakta Samsarada Chiradhava Mukta Guru Charanambuja Krishna Krishna Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam Rakshasi Nija Hridayastam Devam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate
Kayena vacha manasa indriyirva buddhya atmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai Srimannarayana yeti samarpayami sarvam Shri Ramachandra arpanamastu. Have a great day and a week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghavanji.
Thank you.